7. Hidden energy cycles. All dark chosen ones are forced to face. Have you ever felt that chill, that invisible weight pressing against your chest when you wake up in the middle of the night? Unsure whether it was a dream or a message, that moment where the silence feels alive and you can sense, without doubt, that something ancient and powerful is watching you, not with eyes, but with knowing. That is not your imagination. That is the first whisper of the hidden energy cycles beginning to move. And if you're watching this, it's because you are not like the rest. You are among the few who have been marked, not by choice, but by destiny, as one of the dark chosen ones. I know how that sounds. Dark, it feels like a curse. It feels like a mistake. But what if I told you that the darkness you fear is not evil, but the fertile soil in which your highest self must be planted? You see, light without darkness is blind. It's only through shadow that light begins to understand itself. And the dark chosen ones? We are the ones who are called to walk through the 7 hidden cycles, not for pleasure, not for glory, but because someone has to. Someone has to remember, someone has to awaken.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The first energy cycle is the descent. It begins subtly. You'll notice a sudden disconnect from people, from things, from your own former identity. Your taste changes, your friends begin to feel like strangers. You stop laughing at the same jokes. You no longer crave what used to excite you. It's not depression, though it might feel like it. It's not burnout, though the exhaustion is very real. It's the soul withdrawing its investment from the illusion. You're being pulled inward, downward, not as punishment, but as preparation. You begin to question everything, not just the world, but yourself. Who am I really? What is this life? What am I here for? And the most dangerous question, what if everything I've believed so far is a lie? This is where most people turn back. They run back to distractions, comfort, illusions. But the dark chosen one, we stay. We face the unraveling, and that's when the real descent begins. Your energy begins to fluctuate wildly. One moment you're filled with divine clarity, the next you're drowning in doubt. This is not a malfunction. This is the first gate, testing your nervous system. Can you hold opposing truths without collapsing? Can you feel like nothing and everything at the same time? Can you let go of needing to know? Remember, growth does not happen in the light. It happens in the dark. Seeds germinate underground. Babies form in the womb. Transformation is always hidden before it is revealed. So if your life feels like it's crumbling, good, it's supposed to. You're not breaking down, you're breaking open. And here's the paradox. The more you resist the descent, the longer it takes. The more you surrender, the faster you accelerate. But surrender isn't giving up, it's giving in. To the process, to the unknown, to the ancient intelligence orchestrating your awakening. You are not lost, you're being reconfigured. The second energy cycle begins when you stop fighting the descent. It's called the silence between worlds. This is where time stops. You feel stuck. But what's really happening is that your soul has stepped out of linear time. You're in the hallway between your old life and your real self. Nothing moves because everything is being rearranged. It's like a software update. You can't use the device while it's updating. You're being updated at the soul level. This is a lonely place. Friends won't understand you. Family will think you've changed, and you have. You're no longer operating from the ego script. You're beginning to download your original blueprint. But here's the thing. You'll feel like you've lost your identity, because you have. Your false self is dying, and what's being born hasn't yet spoken its first word. Can you be still in the silence? Can you sit in the void without trying to fill it? Most can't. But we must. Because in this silence, in this between state, something extraordinary happens. Your intuition begins to awaken. You start feeling things before they happen. You notice synchronicities, numbers repeating, dreams becoming messages, strangers saying exactly what you needed to hear. The veil thins. Reality begins to bend. And then comes the test. Always a test. You'll be given the opportunity to go back. An ex returns. A job offer appears. A temptation shows up. Something familiar, something safe. But it's not for you. It's bait. The universe asks, are you ready to become who you are, or will you settle for who you were? And in that moment, you choose your timeline. Let me ask you something very deep. If you had to lose everything you thought you were in order to become who you truly are, would you do it? Because that's what's required. No half measures, no spiritual bypassing. This is not about crystals and incense. This is spiritual surgery. This is ego death. This is soul rebirth. And just when you think you've made peace with the silence, the third energy cycle begins. The confrontation with the mirror self. This is the most terrifying phase so far, not because of demons or ghosts, but because you meet you, the real you, the shadow, the pain you've buried, the rage you've suppressed, the wounds you've denied. It all surfaces. People think awakening is bliss. No. Awakening begins with chaos, because your unconscious mind has been the driver for so long, and now it's being dragged into the light. You'll feel like you're going crazy. Your emotions will spike. You'll cry for no reason. You'll get angry at the wind. You'll remember things you forgot. You'll see patterns in your life that make you question everything. This is not madness. This is purification. You're in a child, your past lives, your ancestral trauma. It's all surfacing to be healed, not to torment you, but to liberate you. You cannot ascend if you are carrying density, and shadow is density. It anchors your energy. That's why you feel heavy. To clear this, you must feel it fully. No judgments, no escape. Just presence. Sit with the rage. Breathe through the grief. Don't analyze it. Don't label it. Just witness it. Because what you witness without resistance dissolves. You'll begin to uncover truths about your lineage. You'll realize that some of what you carry isn't even yours. It's ancestral, generational, but you are the pattern breaker. That's why you were chosen. That's why your life has been so intense. You were built for this. Your soul is ancient. You've prepared lifetimes for this work. And here's something wild. As you clear your shadow, your gifts awaken. You'll start to feel energy in your hands. You'll sense people's emotions without them speaking. Your dreams become prophetic. Your presence becomes magnetic. Why? Because the more shadow you clear, the more light you hold. And yet, this is just the beginning. The alchemy of pain how suffering unlocks the hidden gateways of power. There is a moment in every dark chosen one's path when the pain becomes unbearable, not from physical wounds, but from the breaking apart of everything you once thought was true. It's a moment where you're not just facing suffering, you are inside it, breathing it, becoming one with it. And yet, in this crucible of agony, something extraordinary begins to happen. The pain doesn't destroy you, it transforms you, it purifies you. It reveals something ancient and buried deep beneath your human layers. And that is the fourth hidden energy cycle, the alchemy of pain. You see, suffering is not the opposite of peace, it is the teacher of peace. We are taught to avoid pain, to numb it, to distract from it. But what if pain is sacred? What if pain is the map back to your core? When your heart breaks, your soul speaks. When your illusions shatter, your truth emerges. Pain is the fire that burns away the masks, and in that fire your real self is forged, not created but remembered. The universe has a strange way of speaking to those who carry ancient codes. It doesn't whisper in comfort, it roars through loss. It disrupts your plans, it dismantles everything that is not aligned with your purpose. And the more stubborn you are, the louder it shakes you. But underneath the chaos, there is always a question being asked. Are you willing to let go of who you think you are, so you can become who you were always meant to be? The pain you're feeling, it's not random. It's intelligent, it's ancestral, it's cosmic. It's the energy of lifetimes rising up to be felt, acknowledged, and transmuted. Every tear you cry is a spell breaking. Every breakdown is a portal opening. But only if you allow it. Only if you stop resisting and start listening. In the fourth cycle, we begin to see that pain is not just something that happens to us, it's something that happens for us. It forces us to slow down, to reflect, to rewire. The ego hates this cycle. It wants quick fixes. It wants the old life back. But the soul knows. The soul has been waiting for this moment. This is the phase where you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And begin asking, what is this trying to awaken within me? And then something subtle begins. You notice that the pain, while still present, starts to feel different. It becomes less like a wound and more like a key. You begin to see the patterns. You recognize the lessons. You understand that the betrayal wasn't punishment, it was redirection. The heartbreak wasn't cruelty, it was calibration. You start to understand that every scar is a doorway, and when you look closely, you realize that pain has gifted you with something no one else could. Power. But not the kind of power the world celebrates. Not domination, not control. This is spiritual power. Quiet, unshakable, magnetic. You walk into a room and people feel something. They don't know what it is, but they feel it. It's your frequency. You've earned it through the alchemy of your suffering. You've metabolized darkness into wisdom. You've turned your trauma into medicine. And now, you begin to realize something even deeper. You're no longer afraid of pain. You respect it. You understand its language. And when the next wave comes, you don't run. You open. You let it pass through you like wind through trees. This is the secret of the masters. They don't avoid suffering. They have mastered the art of transmuting it. And here's where it gets wild. Once you stop fearing pain, you become unstoppable. Why? Because the world's greatest weapon, fear, no longer works on you. You've already walked through the fire. What can scare you now? This is why the dark chosen ones are so powerful. We've been broken and rebuilt by the very forces that destroy others. We don't just survive, we transmute. We don't just heal, we evolve. Let me ask you something. If your greatest pain held the exact coordinates to your highest power, would you still wish it away? Because here's the truth. Your pain has been your initiation all along. It's not the enemy. It's the portal. And once you walk through it without resistance, you enter a new dimension of being. You become a living alchemist, someone who can bend reality, who can hold paradox, who can speak the language of energy. You begin to realize that your journey was never about becoming something more, it was about remembering who you've always been. And the pain? It was simply the pressure that cracked the shell. But what's waiting on the other side of that shell is something far more powerful than you ever imagined. The unseen initiation, when spirit, symbols, and synchronicity take over your life. Once you've walked through the furnace of pain and emerged with ashes still clinging to your skin, something strange begins to shift. The world doesn't feel the same. Time bends in odd ways. You think of someone and they call. You notice numbers repeating everywhere. Dreams become more vivid, even prophetic. Random coincidences begin to line up like dominoes pushed by an invisible hand, and deep inside you sense it. You're being watched. Not by danger, but by destiny. Everything is held by descending. This is not paranoia, it's the fifth hidden energy cycle, the unseen initiation. It's the phase where the veil between the seen and unseen thins. The spiritual world begins to speak, and for the first time, you're listening. But this isn't just about mystical experiences for entertainment. This is about initiation. You've been cracked open, and now the spirits, the energies, the archetypes that have always surrounded you can finally reach you. They don't come to impress you, they come to test you. They come to whisper truths that can only be heard in silence. They come to see if you're ready to become something more than human. You'll start to notice signs everywhere, not just once or twice, but constantly, as if the universe is flirting with you. You'll see repeating numbers, 111, 222, 444. But they're not random. Each sequence is a code, a message tailored to your frequency. You'll hear a song at the exact moment you're thinking of someone. A stranger will speak a sentence that answers the question you only asked in your heart. You're no longer living in a world of chance. You're in a web of divine orchestration. But here's the twist. These synchronicities aren't just affirmations. They're instructions. They're invitations to follow the breadcrumbs back to your soul's mission. And the more you follow, the deeper you go. You'll begin to dream of places you've never been, yet feel like home. You'll meet people who feel like ancient friends. You'll be drawn to symbols, eyes, triangles, serpents, ancient languages, and they will speak to you in a way logic cannot explain. This is where the dark chosen ones begin to understand. Reality is not fixed. It's fluid. It's intelligent. It responds to your vibration, And now that your vibration is rising, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself around you. You're not just interacting with your environment, you're co-creating it. But with this power comes responsibility. Spirits begin to visit, not always in form, but in presence. You'll feel them in the room before you sleep. You'll sense someone watching you during meditation. You may even hear whispers, see flashes of light, or feel a pressure in your third eye. This is not your imagination. These are guides, ancestors, sometimes even fragments of your past selves. They come bearing gifts, but only if you are aligned. If you misuse this power, they withdraw. This is the hidden truth of initiation. It's not a ceremony others see. It's a sequence of invisible tests. Will you trust your intuition even when it makes no sense? Will you follow the signs even when the path is unclear? Will you speak your truth even when your voice shakes? This is what separates the initiated from the curious. You're no longer walking alone, but you're also not walking a path that others can validate. And that's the real challenge. You must believe in what you feel more than what you see. You must trust the invisible more than the visible. That's the price of awakening. So I ask you, what would change in your life if you truly believed the universe was speaking to you every single day? Because it is. It always has been. You were just too distracted to notice. But now your eyes are open and the spirits are watching, waiting, guiding. The final trial, choosing the light without abandoning your shadow. This is the moment most never reach, the last of the hidden energy cycles, the final crucible, the threshold between being human and becoming whole. After you've descended into the dark, felt your pain, met your shadow, and walked through the corridors of symbols and spirits, you arrive at the edge of something that has no name. Some call it enlightenment, others call it union, but for the dark chosen one, it is something more complex, more real, and far more dangerous than any fantasy of perfection. It is integration. You see, most people mistake awakening for escape. They think the goal is to leave the shadow behind, to become all light, all love, all purity. But that's not the path of the chosen. That's the illusion of ego dressed in spiritual robes. True initiation is not about denying the darkness. It's about owning it, holding it, loving it. Because your shadow isn't your enemy, it's your twin. It's the part of you that took all the pain so your light could survive. And now, in this final trial, you must decide, will you choose the light and reject the shadow, or will you embrace both and become whole? This is not easy. The temptation is strong to abandon your old self completely, to pretend you never had the rage, the wounds, the chaos. But that denial only creates another mask. And you didn't come this far to wear another mask. You came to be real, to be raw, to be radiant in your complexity. Because the truth is, your shadow is where your gifts were buried. Your anger was your fire. Your sadness was your compassion. Your fear was your wisdom waiting to unfold. In this final phase, life will test you one last time. You will face people who try to pull you back into old patterns. You will be tempted to shrink to fit into places you've outgrown. You will be offered roles that look shiny but cost your soul. And you'll feel the pressure to either go back into hiding or to reject your humanity in pursuit of some false spiritual purity. But if you've made it this far, then you already know the answer. You don't have to choose between light and shadow. You are both. You are the storm and the calm, the wound and the healer, the question and the answer. You are the embodiment of duality brought into harmony, and that harmony is your true power. This is what the world needs now, not perfect beings, but integrated ones. People who are not afraid of their darkness and who do not weaponize their light. People who can stand in silence and still shake the room with presence. People who have walked through hell and returned with water to share. So now I ask you for the final time, who are you when you are no longer hiding from your own power? Because that's the final gift of this journey, not to become something new, but to finally remember who you've always been, a being of immense light, shaped by deep shadow, a soul forged by fire, here not to escape the world, but to embody the divine within it, not to run from pain, but to transmute it into purpose, not to seek love, but to be love, in its fiercest, most unshakable form. You are not broken, you are becoming. You are not lost, you are being led. You are not cursed, you are called. And this is your return. Welcome home.